You are listening to the Children of Film podcast.
We're a 1.5 hour long dick joke. Alright. Welcome back, listeners, near and far, to the Children of Film podcast. It is I, your host, Jaron, with my co-host, Jacob. We are back once again after another prolonged couple of weeks. Yeah, we've both been really busy. We always say that, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Whether you're a fan, whether we've sent this to you, whether you're lost in the desert and you stumbled upon this little rock and you're inspecting it and you can't quite figure out what it is, but you're like, it's actually kind of interesting. I'm gonna pursue it.
Then thank you for that.
Thank you, whoever you are. Thank you for being here and joining us this evening. How's life? What's new?
Yeah, not bad. Today's video is sponsored by Nick Kroll's Sylvester Stallone impression in Big Mouth. Yeah, we just like to promote that. You know, coupon for 20%. Children of Film, one word.
Haven't seen the show, but yeah.
Nice. No, I'm good. Haven't been watching lots of movies in the past few days.
I've been doing okay.
I had a few assignments due all at once, and it kind of smashed me. And I've got work every day of the week this week, 7 days in a row. So it's all pretty hectic at the moment. But I'm just slowly rewatching stuff. World. Oh yeah, you're damn right. Kmart, actually, mainly.
Kmart, you're still at Kmart? Shit.
Yeah, man, that's the good shit. That's where you get the good shifts, the good money.
I don't know how this kid works two jobs. I'm struggling with 2 shifts a week at one job, my lazy ass. Yes, all right. I'm bloody lovely, to be honest. I've got a week ahead of me off, so I'm going to try and smash some motion pictures. But I've been going pretty steady with new releases lately. But I guess we'll get into the diary display. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go on.
Watch something? Okay, I watched. Let's see, where am I starting here? Ready Player One, that was my third watch of it because I took my mum to see it, and as a child of the 80s, she had a great time. I love Ready Player One. I don't think we haven't talked about it on here yet, have we? We can get into it a little bit because we actually disagree here. But yeah, I really had a great time with Ready Player One. It does have its flaws. I will say I didn't love the character of Artemis, and the romance is not really earned, and there are some cheesy moments, but I think all of that was outweighed by how much fun I had. I was transported to another world. It was that Spielberg magic, and it actually got me a little emotional towards the end. You want to give some quick thoughts, Jaron?
A lot of my thoughts are in spoilers, but I enjoyed myself for what it was. I think it's kind of fluffy. I didn't, but there were a lot of parts that were really cringy to me, and there were also a lot of boring stretches, a lot of things I didn't like. But I don't think anyone could have done this as well as Steven Spielberg did. And I'll just say the Shining scene, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's fucking
one of
awesome.
The coolest things ever.
Yeah, that was fucking sweet. Yeah, it
was great. I ended up doing a cheesy 1997 Nicolas Cage movie marathon double feature with my friend because I had never seen Con Air or Face Off, and I was educated on the weekend and had a pretty good time. We watched Con Air first, and I will say I preferred Con Air to Face Off. I just had a great time with it. It's so ridiculous, it's so stupid, but like it's a really, really great ensemble piece. Like everyone gets a moment to shine. Dude, Steve Buscemi as a fucking evil serial killer, and you love him.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Put the bunny back in the box. Anybody moves and the bunny gets it. Fucking Steve Buscemi singing, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world. While their plane's crashing. Like, I had and like, Cage's character's a genuine badass. Like, there's one part where he's walking up to a bad guy and he gets shot in the arm and does not faze him at all, and he just keeps going. I'm like, hell yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck. And his name is Cameron Poe. Like, is that not just the coolest fucking name ever?
Absolutely.
Yeah. He always has the best names in movies.
And then, what's his name in Face Off again? It's Castor Troy?
Castor Troy.
Yeah. So we watched Face Off next, another one I'd never seen, been meaning to for a while. I did not enjoy it as much as Con Air. I thought it was fun, and like it's off. Nick Cage is off the chain in it. In the first scene of the movie, some of the facial expressions he gives are bloody wild.
I want to take his face off.
It's a great bloody cat and mouse game. There's a lot of really cheesy fun lines. I just thought it did get a bit long-winded, and like the cheesiness of the dumb premise can only get you so far, and like there were a lot of times where I had fun, but there were also a lot of times where I was like, I just didn't care. But yeah, I still had a good time with Face Off. I watched W Delta Z just because it has Tom Hardy and Sally Hawkins in it, and I regret watching that film, Jaron.
Oh, really?
It's like a gritty sort of serial killer movie, but like I had to watch the two of them rape someone with a broken bottle. And
that sounds awesome.
I needed a shower right after it, I'll tell you that much.
Maybe I'll watch it.
It was borderline incompetent the way it was made. Like some of the framing was just off. Some shots were out of focus. Fucking the acting was not very good. There was a cool twist at the end which kind of saved it, and I never really hated watching it, but it was just like it just made me feel bad about life, and not in a good way. I don't know why I've spent so long on it. It's not a movie anyone's ever going to watch. I watched Sleepers, which I really... Have you seen this, Jaron?
No.
Being the podcast resident De Niro expert, I'm surprised.
Should watch it.
I'm glad I've got one on you. But I watched this because I'd never heard of it. My mum said it was good, so we checked it out. And it's about like 4 childhood friends, and they grow up to be played by Billy Crudup, Jason Patrick, Brad Pitt, and I forget the other one. But a sort of thing they do when their kids lands them in this sort of boys' home where they're kind of abused and stuff, and then it kind of shapes who they become as adults. And I can't really spoil too much, but it's a really, really moving story. The guy it's based on says it's a true story, and we don't really know the validity of it, but that being said, it's a really, really compelling film. And De Niro plays like this priest who's kind of sort of mentors them as kids, and he's sort of a presence throughout the movie, and he was really good. And just a really, really solid fucking drama. It's a long movie, and it was like riveting from start to finish.
Excellent.
I watched Game Over Man on Netflix. It was terrible. Yeah, that'll do it. Dick Jokes, the movie.
Hey, the podcast. We should have loved it.
We should have loved it, but like I like to think we can craft a better dick joke than they did in Game Over Man.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, where that dude has to eat a fat man's asshole.
Oh, and and they pull him out, and he's like, "I'm not done."
I will say, I enjoyed that guy. Like he was entertaining.
Yeah, he was. Did you avoid Adam Devine's butthole and balls and penis? No, it's pretty decent.
It was a film that was made,
yeah,
and I watched it.
It's a good effort for him. I didn't say that for him. He should be proud of himself.
I don't really have much else to add. I rewatched Fantastic Mr. Fox on Netflix to get hype for Isle of Dogs, and I hadn't seen it since I was in school, and I was probably barely paying attention at that point anyway. But so I'd seen it, but I hadn't really seen it, and I'd really had a great time with it. I think it's one of Wes's best, and it was heartfelt. It was beautifully animated. It was just delightful and whimsical. Like, I'm a big Wes Anderson fanboy. And then the next day, I did see Isle of Dogs, and bloody loved it. Don't know if I'll do a review for it or anything, but I bloody loved Isle of Dogs. It was bloody charming. It has some of the most impressive stop motion animation I've ever seen. Just all the production design, all the sets. It's so smoothly done, and it's incredible. And they managed to imbue all the dogs with a great personality, and just such a fun movie. Like it's dark, but it wasn't dark in the way I was expecting. It is still a very, very fun, whimsical movie, and a love letter to, like, you know, a love letter to dogs, basically, and like the relationship that a dog can have with their master. And it was really, really cool. And it's definitely one of Wes's best, and it's probably my favorite movie of the year so far. I watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show at a midnight screening. Went with my sister and some friends, and it was really cool. It was insane. It was probably the gayest night of my life, Jaron. Like,
never seen
and I've had some, and I've had some pretty gay nights.
Oh, I know about that. Yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen it? It's it's like about a bunch of weird transvestites from another planet who try to like corrupt this young couple, and it's so.
I don't have any
corny,
plans to see it.
So corny and so fucking stupid. But I watched it a lot as a kid. And so it's kind of nostalgic for me, and like I had a great. It's like one of the great like cult movie experiences, and it was a lot of fun watching everybody dress up and go insane and yell, and the screening was like a disaster. Like their video kept fucking freezing. Like it was like they were just playing a file on VLC Media Player, and it kept freezing and shit. There was one point where it froze, so everyone just continued the movie like just by yelling the lines and shit. It was wild. Yeah. And then continuing with the gayness, I watched Love, Simon for the third time because I just took my sister to see it, and yeah, it's great. It's one of my favorites of the year so far. I love Love, Simon. It was great. It was great. Excellent, it was great. God.
Excellent.
And finally, I rewatched the Big Sick.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Good film.
It's I liked it a lot more like this time than the last time I watched it. It does really hold up. It's bloody emotional, touches on some bloody relevant themes, and it announces Kumail Nanjiani as a man to be watched.
Is this a retroactive Best Comedy Picture winner for the
honestly,
Children's Film Awards?
Honestly,
it was mine. So. It was my highest one, but you had Big Sick higher.
Yeah,
but I mean, you had
that's by one spot.
But I mean, literally, there were like 2 spots for me anyway. So
at this point, I could probably put Big Sick above. You know.
Well, it's too late.
I'd
no
probably do that.
retroactive winners. Oh well.
Yeah, there are.
No, sorry.
Shape of Water canon is a winner.
No.
For Best Picture, tied with 3 Billboards. We already established that on a previous podcast. You piece of shit.
Did not happen. Not true. Sorry, man.
Anyway,
mine's changed, but it's too late.
No. Why would you like? But if it's you've changed and you've liked the movie more, but you still don't want it to be recognised.
What do you mean? I like
by a major award? Well, the movie's gone higher on your list than when we initially voted.
Yeah, well, it's still not better than 3 Billboards.
Yeah, well, it's like one spot in it.
It's too late.
2 spots in it.
No, it's too late. It's great. All right, my diary display. I watched the 2018 movie Veronica. It's a Netflix horror movie.
Yeah.
This is another movie that's supposedly based on a true story that I don't believe. But it's a foreign movie, and it's about a little girl she's like in 8th grade, and her friends have a seance with a Ouija board, and they forget to say goodbye to it. So she starts getting haunted because she wants to speak to her dead dad, but she starts getting haunted by this other being that may or may not be her dad, who knows, and it starts corrupting her, and it follows her around, attaches it to her, goes into her apartment and stuff, and it's based off a police report, the only police report ever recorded where 3 police officers all in the same report say that they witnessed supernatural behavior. I won't say what they witnessed because it's a spoiler, but like they were definitive that yes, they witnessed something supernatural happen, and it's filling in the gaps between that story, and it's really well done. I really enjoyed it. I watched Seth Rogen's Hilarity for Charity on Netflix.
I watched that too.
Yeah, funny stuff. Really sweet. But there's one big brown spot in there. Sarah Silverman was my favourite, probably.
Yeah, her and John Mulaney. I love John Mulaney.
Yeah.
Two things when he's like, my wife's in love with this Timothée Chalamet motherfucker or something, and then when he just starts roasting Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, right. They were definitely just milking that for insurance fraud. Definitely. Anyway, yeah, and I really enjoyed that. But Tiffany Haddish just fucks me off. I couldn't.
She wasn't funny. Like, it wasn't a stand-up act. It was just her bragging about her achievements.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And I hate to be a negative Nancy and rag on people, but
I watched lots of reviews for this. Yeah.
It was literally just, hey, I got to go to the Oscars. Hey, I got to go to Beyonce's after party. Like, all right, cool. Like, where are the jokes?
Yeah, and people were laughing, and I read a lot of reviews, and they're like, Tiffany Haddish needs to be in everything. I'm like, what? I don't understand. Maybe it's just an Australian thing, because none of my mates like her either. I don't know. I watched The Commuter, a movie I missed earlier in the year. I got a 1080p download, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Wow.
Well
Where's
made.
the respect for
Liam
cinema?
Neeson was great. Yeah, I thought it was really good. And for insurance purposes, in case anyone's listening, I was wrong, and I did see it in cinema, and I logged it late.
I did see it in cinema, so I have the right to say it was a piece of shit.
Fucking decent movie. I watched You Were Never Really Here. Really liked that. A bit too up its own ass, but it was pretty good. My girlfriend did not like it at all. I watched Predators because I bought it on Blu-ray, and I enjoyed it. It's fun. It's they introduced some new Predators, a new team led by Adrian Brody, who I really like. It's got a bunch of really good actors in it, actually. And it's just a fun adventure. It's rated MA or R in America, but they don't really do anything with it. I mean, there's some blood and stuff, but that's it. It's got like It's got like Danny Trejo, Lauren Fishburne, Walton Goggins, Mahershala Ali. Oh, I'm so keen for the new one, man. Shane Black is coming back, and I think it's going to be exceptional.
I'm keen to watch Jacob Tremblay hunt some predators.
He'll definitely just be a kid at home who's like, "Where's Dad?" But sure, definitely. I watched Macbeth.
Fucking love that movie,
and it was so good. I really loved it, but I didn't understand anything what was fucking going on. I didn't get any of the dialogue.
That's one I actually went all right with, because I actually know the Macbeth story pretty well.
Yeah, I know the story. I know the story beats, but when they're talking to each other and it's like, "Thou shalt tape side and Yorton on brick wall," I'm like, what? I'm like, I get what's happening here, but what are they saying? But
that's what I appreciate about it, though. They didn't dumb it down.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I liked it because of that.
The cinematography's fucking wild.
It's got some of the best cinematography I've seen in the past couple of years. It's fantastic. And I really like the story.
Fassbender is amazing.
Oh, obviously, and so is not Rachel Weisz, the other one that looks like Rachel Weisz, Marion Cotillard. Yeah, I rewatched Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Thor: Ragnarok because I'm just so wet for Infinity War. I'm just trying to put, like, it's like my heroin, man. I just have to make it to another. I just have to make it, man. Every day I just need a new injection. 9 days.
Like 9 days off.
I rewatched Hot Fuzz with my girlfriend. One of my favorite movies ever. We both love it. And
good boy.
Today I watched a movie on Netflix called Six Balloons, and it was a directorial debut. I can't remember her name, but she did a really great job. I really liked it. The performances she gets from her actors, especially from Dave Franco, is amazing. He's so good in this.
Shit, I'm gonna have to watch
it. It's not easy to watch. There's some scenes where I won't say Dave Franco does something in the street, and I'm like, oh Jesus. And it's a really realistic take on withdrawals and what a family will do for each other, and I really enjoyed it. It's up in the upper echelon of movies for this year. And yeah, that's my diary display. As usual, we went on for way too long. Let's transition into the news. Yeah, oh well, we haven't talked about it in a couple of weeks. First of all, we've got some bad news. Jacob, rest in peace to director Milos Forman.
Hey,
I haven't seen too much of his movies, but both the movies I've seen, Larry Flint and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, are fucking great movies, especially Cuckoo's Nest. And it's really, it sucks that he's gone. I'm going to make an effort to watch Amadeus and Hair soon. Probably Man on the Moon, some others maybe taking off, but it really does suck.
I wish I could say that I'm not going to lie and say I knew a ton about him or his movies, but it is a sad loss. And he hasn't made anything in a while, but like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was one of the best movies I watched last year.
Oh yeah. I think I remember he made Goya's Ghost a few years ago, with Natalie Portman and Javier Bardem, but apparently it's really bad. Oh well.
Oh no.
Oh well. I think that might have been his last movie. But sucks. But what can you do? People die. Now we're going to transition into some good news. All right, so I'm going to do this transition. Milos Forman died. Death.
Oh no.
Death. Pennywise the Clown is known for killing people, killing them dead, death. James McAvoy and Bill nailed it. James McAvoy and Bill Hader are in talks for coming in to play respectively grown-up Bill and grown-up Richie in It
Now,
Part
this
2.
is some fuck yeah news.
Oh yeah, and Jessica Chastain is 100% confirmed.
Like, with Chastain on board and Bill Hader maybe on board, it's rare that you'd see like direct fan favorite picks get the job, and I'm glad that they're actually like sometimes it might be like, oh, is it too obvious? But like sometimes you like it's just cool to see them like do it.
Oh yeah,
and it looks like they're going for some bigger fish. Like the first one made that much money that they can afford to get some big name people, and I'm very, very interested
highest
to see
grossing horror movie ever. Yeah,
I'm very interested to see who else they go after. But I love Chastain and McAvoy and bloody Hader being in there. I've talked to a couple people who said they don't see McAvoy as Bill, but I'm like, nah, he'll be fine. Like, he's a fucking great actor. He'll pull it off.
Oh,
like,
yeah, he can
I never
do
really had anyone specific in mind for him, but
yeah,
I love Hader as Richie. I love Chastain as Bev, and her and McAvoy are sort of good pals, I think. So it's good to see them reunite again.
And this is more than just like a rumor, because Jessica Chastain posted on Twitter a picture of her and James McAvoy next to a picture of Bill and Bev from the first movie and tagged him.
Yeah,
in, so
I think the kids who played him were Instagramming some stuff about it as well. But what was I going to say? We would like to formally announce ourselves as the leaders of the campaign.
Fuck
of
yeah.
Gyllenhaal to play Jake Gyllenhaal to play Eddie. We need it.
I mean, he's got like 4 movies coming out next year, so I don't know about his schedule, but we're starting
more? They
to
haven't
train.
filmed it yet.
Hashtag get the Jill to it.
Get it to the Jill.
I mean, Eddie is such a sweetheart in the first movie, and who's the biggest sweetheart in Hollywood right now?
You know what?
Fuck Tom Hanks. It's Jake Gyllenhaal.
I was talking to a couple people who said they don't like Gyllenhaal as Eddie, and I just repeated the phrase "bubble boy, bubble boy, bubble boy." There's his audition, and he'll fucking nail it.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, make it happen, producer. I don't know what Eddie's role is in the sequel. I don't know the storyline.
Bubble boy with a little bit of the good girl sprinkled in there, and that's him.
Yeah. So yeah, Gyllenhaal for Eddie. And if we can't get him, we'll take Charlie Day.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take Charlie Day. Yep. But, yeah, Jill for Eddie. Or we'll take Adam Scott. Both good.
And we're also discussing earlier that we would like Andy Samberg to be a part of it.
Oh, yes. Whoever. Maybe the Jew kid.
Whoever.
But whoever.
He can play, like, a new character that they made specifically for it.
He could play the black one. just dress him up like Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, and he could pull it off.
Yeah,
he's
that
a good
would
actor.
Totally be acceptable in today's climate, I reckon.
Yeah, well, I mean, Downey Jr. was nominated for an Oscar for it. So.
That's wild, man. Like, that would never fly today. And, like, I love Tropic Thunder, but that would never fly today. But, you know, it works. Like, it wasn't
distasteful.
Worked because it's making fun of, like, blackface, in that making fun of the racist Hollywood types that would think blackface is a good idea.
Yeah, really. But and he got nominated for it, which is just amazing. Let's think if Heath Ledger's Joker didn't come out in 2008, we might have had Downey Jr. being an Oscar winner for playing a black man.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I don't know. He was real. Yeah. All right. But yeah, that's really. Do you think that they're going to go big cast for the rest of the group, or do you think they're going to go smaller?
Apparently, Mike has a fairly big role in the second part, so maybe they'll get someone big for him.
I feel like they could go with Chiwetel Ejiofor or something for Mike. Maybe.
And then who else is there? Eddie, Stanley, and there's one more, isn't there?
Yeah, the fat kid Ben.
Oh, Ben, yeah. Well, people say Chris Pratt because he used to be fat,
but he's so popular now. He'd be half the film's budget.
He would command a fair bit. So I don't know. There's a lot of people you could get for those guys. I don't really have any specific fan cast in mind, but I'm just very, very excited to see who they get because I'm super, super keen for this movie. I love the first hit.
What about a Jonah Hill for Ben? He's ripped now, man. Oh. Did you see his Instagram where he's got big ass guns?
That'd be cool. Again, Jonah Hill's probably a hard fish to land nowadays as well.
Oh yeah, but he's not as expensive as Chris Pratt.
Oh God, no.
But and dude, if they got Bill Hader, it's not too far a stretch. But
Bill Hader's so underrated. I just want nothing but success for him.
Oh yeah, I love him. He's one of my most watched actors of all time. He's just in everything.
Still maintain he should have been nominated for awards for Skeleton Twins.
Yeah, he was so good in that. So was Wig. All right, our next bit of news and last bit of news is something that'll lead into our next segment, and this is Black Panther has officially joined the top 10 worldwide grosses of all time.
And that's fucking awesome.
It just knocked off Frozen. It's now on $1.3 billion. And
Dude,
it's 20 million behind The Last Jedi.
It's gonna beat everything from last year, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, it'll take Last Jedi in the coming week or two, and it'll be the top grosser of last year.
Like, Infinity War's got its work cut out for it.
Right? Yeah. I don't think Infinity War is going to beat it domestically. I think it has a shot at all time
internationally
worldwide.
It should do the job, but
it should do. But I don't see it topping it domestically.
It's got like 700. Like,
I think
insane.
Exactly. I think Black Panther was rare and it tapped into something special that the Avengers movies can't tap into, and that's the power of not having representation on screen.
Although Infinity War is going to appeal to just about everyone.
Also, it might get help because Panther's in it too. So
I know there's a lot of types around who are always like, I'm sick of the MCU, I'm not going to watch it anymore. But like, there are people who are not film fans at all, people who haven't even seen all the MCU movies that are just going to go see this.
Oh yeah,
it's like, hey,
I know a lot of people who don't see the in-betweens and they just see the team-up movies. Yeah, so people will come out.
And then there's going to be the Jarrans who go see it 11 times.
Oh yeah, well I'm seeing it 4 times confirmed on the first 2 days. I'm seeing it twice on the first day and twice on the second. Yeah, twice on the first day, twice on the second.
Have you already booked tickets for all of them?
Yeah, I've got tickets for the first day. I've got tickets for 10:30 and 6, and then the next day I'm seeing it with my mate Josh at 11, and then I'm seeing it at night as well.
God, are you just planning it with all different people, or?
Yes, mainly, yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be fucking lit. Oh, and then I'm seeing it the day after because I'm taking my brother because his birthday is that day.
Nice.
So I'm like, I'll take it, Infinity War, bro. And he's like, sweet. So
I don't have a lot of friends up here, but I'm taking my roommate to see it on on the opening night, and then from
Are you seeing it at night or during the day?
No, I have uni during the day.
Are
you taking uni off for it? That's something you would do. Oh, you have a lot of classes at home nowadays, don't you?
Well, Josh and I are both skipping uni on Thursday to see it. So yeah, and that's after I've already seen it twice. So. Yeah, but
Josh, if you're listening to this,
he's not.
Nice meme.
Hey, good effort. Yeah, so I can't believe it broke into the box office. And speaking of box office, Jacob, last year, almost a year ago, thanks, man. I think it was better than my actually, no, I don't think it was better than the Death one. But last year, I think it was podcast 18. It was exactly a year ago.
That Death one was pretty ordinary.
It was pretty fucking good. We did a box office prediction video where we were like, type in your top 10 type in your predictions for the top 10 box office of this year, and we'll read out the winner. We got 1 reply, so that's pretty dope. Hopefully we get a few more this year, make it more interesting. But Jacob and I versed Blake, who commented on our video. We all wrote down our top 10 movies that we thought would make it,
Blake.
And we all did fairly well, to be honest.
Jaren you have the statistics here. How'd we go?
I do. So all 3 of us got 7 out of 10, which is pretty crazy.
And that's just stuff that appeared in the top 10.
Sorry. No, yeah, all 3 of us got 7 out of... Wait, no, Cars 3 wasn't in there, was it?
No, you beat me by 1.
Cars 3 wasn't in there, was it? Okay, so I got 7 out of 10. Jacob and Blake got 6 out of 10. So I came out victorious for last year. It's funny, all 3 of us got 2 in the exact same place, which was first and third. All 3 of us got The Last Jedi.
Blake actually had 7.
He had 7, did he? What else did he have?
Star Wars, Despicable Me, Fast 8, Beauty and the Beast, Guardians 2, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man.
Oh shit, I forgot he had Spider-Man. Oh yeah, that's not on my page, that's under it. Alright, so Blake beat you too.
Yep.
Yeah, did Blake beat me then? I don't know. Good effort.
Don't know.
That's great. But we'll just call me the winner anyway.
As expected, Star Wars won.
Yeah, Star Wars won. We
the
both
movie
got
that everyone hated so much.
Everyone got Fast and the Furious 8 at number 3. And then all of us at Despicable Me 3 at number 2. That did the business at the 4th place, but it did not take second.
Anyway,
Beauty and the Beast fucking came second. That's crazy. And no one saw Jumanji or Wolf Warrior come out.
Oh, Wolf Warrior 2, man. That's what you
Yeah.
want.
Came sixth, Jumanji fifth. They were big pollers, yeah.
Anyway, should we get stuck into this year's predictions?
We should. I'm just going to let you know straight up, in case you get bored and skip this next bit. Comment what you think will be the top 10 grosses internationally, not domestically.
Because America, the world doesn't revolve around you.
And of 28, we're men of the world. Comment your top 10 grosses that you think will happen in 2018. Comment it down, and we'll read everyone's out next year and whoever wins and stuff like that. We'll stop reading them after a couple months when lots of these big ones have come out. But yeah.
So yeah, we're each going to present our top 10s, and I'll probably then I will store them in a box sealed by PricewaterhouseCoopers. Hope they don't fuck it up, and
we're gonna bury it in the desert and then mark the latitude and longitude on a phone, and then
we'll bury it in the desert near where they put all the Atari copies of the ET video game.
Yes. Sweet. And right next to all the Zack Snyder cuts of Justice League. just hidden out there.
Oh no.
All right. What do you have coming in at number 10?
Let's run through. Yeah, we won't spend ages on this, but at number 10 I was choosing between a few movies. I almost went with Venom.
Should we just go 10 through 1? We'll go one by one.
We'll go one by one.
Right.
Yeah, so I almost went with Venom. I almost went with The Grinch, which is probably going to do a bit of business. But I went with the one that I wanted to see succeed the most, and that's Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh, yes.
At number 10.
Fuck,
in your list?
No, it's not on my list, but I would love to see it pull in the top 10. I'd be stoked if it pulled in the top 10.
It's not super likely one, but the last one made around the 700 mark, so
they make they make a bit of business, these Mission Impossible movies, and the last
people are going to flock
really
in
well
droves
regarded.
to see that mustache.
Yeah, hey, legit. Oh, it looks so sexy. All right. My number 10 is a movie that didn't do... It's a sequel. The first one didn't do too well, but I think the power of Marvel will help it, and this is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think this will come in maybe around the 10-ish mark, but I have it falling at 10.
Yeah, I've got that at 9th. Yeah, so again, I think it's going to make more than the first one.
Definitely.
There's a few reasons I think it'll get in there, because it'll make more than the first one. People know who Ant-Man is now. People love Paul Rudd. And it's coming not too far off of Infinity War, and I think they've done that on purpose because people are going to be on the hype train, and I think it's going to have big ramifications on Infinity War.
Yeah,
and it's going to be important that everyone watches it.
Yeah, that's something I thought of as well. If something happens in Infinity War that directly affects Ant-Man and the plots are involved, you'll bet you'll get a lot more butts in seats because people will want to see a continuation of that story, especially if it's great.
What do you got at 9?
At 9, I have Aquaman. I wasn't going to slip this in, but I made the mistake of not putting in Wonder Woman last year, and that did business.
We went with Justice League, which was not a great call.
James Wan pulls in some numbers. Yeah.
The Conjurings do some business.
And so did Fast 8.
Oh, yeah, Fast 7, yeah. That was the biggest one, wasn't it?
It was 1.4
he knows what he's
or whatever
doing.
the fuck. It's fucking 1.5 billion.
Please be good.
Yeah. All
right.
I hope it's good.
Number 8, I've got... This one's a bit of a gamble, but I'm hoping that the fans come out. It's Deadpool 2.
I'll tie you at number 8.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, the first one did big business. There's no reason that this one shouldn't do big business. Most people I know are really keen for it. You just got to hope it doesn't get overshadowed by Infinity War.
Yeah, especially because it comes out so close as well.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
They'll eat each other's numbers, probably. Another movie. There's another movie coming out around then that'll eat each other too.
Oh, Solo?
Yeah, that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
At
number 7, I've got Aquaman. Slid it in there. I think the DC movies, even when they're not good, do make bank, and there's a chance this one will be good, so it should make a considerable amount of bank.
Nice. My number 7 is a sequel, a animated sequel that I think is highly anticipated, and this is Ralph Breaks the Internet. Wreck-It Ralph, everyone loves Wreck-It Ralph, and I think they're coming in swinging with a lot more characters this time just because of how well the first one did. It's just Disney, man. You can't underestimate the power of Disney. And
That's
it's coming
another
out
one
when not a lot of animated
floating
movies
around
can
that
be
10th
out.
spot, but I omitted.
It's going to come out around school holidays when not many other animateds are around too. So I think it's going to I think it's going to get kids' butts
No,
and
good
seats.
call. I'm a little worried about that. I don't know how good it looks, but
We'll see.
I'm keen. I love
Yeah.
the first one's one of my favorite animated movies. I'm just a little bit like, I don't know, something. There's nothing specific. It's just the vibe's a little off with it. I don't know.
True.
But all right. So my number 6 is the new Fantastic Beasts movie. Don't even remember what it's called. Something Johnny Depp.
The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yep, I don't really. I'm sick of Johnny Depp.
Yeah, but it's Newt Scamander's coming back. That's why.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Because initially they weren't going to bring him back.
Yeah, they weren't.
But Newt's back. Is Kowalski coming back? Or?
Yep, he's in the new trailer.
Oh, good. I haven't watched it. That's what you want. So Fantastic Beasts should make around the 800 mark.
Yeah, awesome. My number 6 is Solo, a Star Wars story. This is gonna pull. I feel like maybe I should have this a bit higher, but I'm not sure how much people are keen on the new Solo movie, to be honest. Production's been really shaky. It was on Rogue One too, and that made bank though too. But if it could affect this movie if it's not very good, and there's a chance that it could be not very good.
Yeah, so that's your 6?
Yeah.
My 5 is Solo. As you said, lots and lots of factors that can point to it failing, but they're all outweighed by the fact that it is a Star Wars movie.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's why it's number 5.
Yeah, people will still go to see it. Yeah, it just depends on the rewatches. My number 5 is Jurassic World 2. I don't think this will do near the damage of the first one because people were so excited to see another Jurassic World movie. But it's dinosaurs and it's Chris Pratt and it's a franchise they've already seen, obviously, so they're going to go back and rewatch it.
That's my number 4. Jurassic World 2, again, won't slay like the first one did, but it should crack the billion.
Interesting. My number 4 is The Incredibles 2.
And that's my number 3. We're just going. I'm like one ahead of you on every single pick.
At least we're not exactly the same like last year.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're going to have one thing up here that I had way lower.
That you don't have at all, actually.
Oh, fucking all right.
My number 3.
I hope I didn't fucking miss something big.
My number 3 that I think is going to do huge damage is Mary Poppins.
Oh, right on.
It's a classic. Every mum I know is gearing up to take their daughter or kids to go see it. I think this isn't going to be one that parents are like, I guess I'll take my kid to see this to fucking, to kill time. I think parents are going to actively take their kids to go see the new Mary Poppins. And I think it's going to be really good.
And it's got that Christmas Day time slot.
Yeah, so I think people will go see this. And Jumanji came out about the same time last year, and look what that did.
Nice pick.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I at? Number 2? Yeah, yep. Number 2 is Black Panther. It's looking pretty good.
Interesting.
Pretty easy call since it's already been out. Where are you at with that?
My number 2 is Black Panther.
Yep, nice.
And we both have.
And then number 1 is Bumblebee.
Oh, your number 1 is Bumblebee. That's interesting. See, I had The Nun, so it's gonna be keen to see who comes out on top.
Look. Travis Knight is one of the most famous directors in the world. He's going to galvanize the people and bring all the fans back to the Transformers franchise.
Dude, people are so keen to see a spin-off of Valak, especially because it's dumbed down and called The Nun. I think they're going to come out in droves to see this, especially because the title is
really going to be the game changer for it.
Hey, and I mean, dude, you cannot get over the prestige cast. I'm pretty sure they're all fucking Oscar nominees. You got Bonnie Aarons, you got Charlie
all
Hope,
household names.
You got Domaine Bachir, Jonas Bourquois.
I know.
Although you do have Taissa Farmiga, who is Vera Farmiga's daughter.
Is she playing?
Which is really cool.
Is her character any relation to Lorraine Warren, or are they just like, fuck it, let's just get her daughter? No, she's not a daughter. She's her sister, isn't she?
Is she really?
I don't know. I'm gonna look that up.
No, she's playing Sister Irene.
No, I'm talking like the real person. She's not. She's her sister, not her daughter.
Yeah. Oh, really? She's so young.
She's 23. What's Vera, around 40?
Like 40? Damn. 20-year age gap.
But, like, sort of... Oh, Vera's 21-year age gap. Fucking hell.
Interesting.
Right on.
You can see why I thought.
Yes. So, yeah, that's our box office list. I think toss-up between Infinity War and Black Panther, but you got to back in the big boy.
You do. I mean, yeah, Black Panther's going to slow down around the 1.3 mark, and no Avengers movie has made less than 1.4, and this is Infinity War. So, have we got all the same ones besides Mary Poppins and Mission Impossible? Yes.
You had Fantastic Beasts, right?
No, I didn't have Fantastic Beasts. Actually,
what did you have in place of that?
In place of that, I had Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yes. Interesting. So it's going to be an interesting one. And yeah, if you're watching along at home, if you got a top 10 prediction, drop it in the comments. We'll lock it away in the vault, and hope we don't announce La La Land instead. Completely random. What do you think will be Infinity War's opening weekend? I'm not good at this kind of stuff. I don't even know what a big opening weekend is. Internationally, let's go with... Yeah. I don't know. What's standard? Like 400? 400 million? No one's ever done that. Yeah, well, we could. Yeah, I think the record is 250 set by Last Jedi. Internationally? And I think... Yeah. Oh, okay. And I think the highest... all right, let's go with 300. Nice. I think, the record's 250. I think the highest Marvel opening ever is the first Avengers on like 202 or something. I think this one's will do 235, but yeah. No, I'm going 460. Fuck, good effort. Yep. That's bold. That's bold. Yeah, bold call. That's what I'm all about. The hot takes. Yeah. You know. And, don't at me with your numbers, because I might be off a little bit, but my God is bigger than your statistics. It is. Thank God for Clint Eastwood. And with that, it's time for our newish segment, the Message Corner. Let's do this. Where we tweet to our 22 followers. Yeah, man. They come out. So if you have Twitter, go follow us there. Make an account specifically to follow us if you don't have Twitter. At Children of Film. It's worth it. Yeah, just we post film, the podcast occasionally. Yes. And so we've got a couple of questions this week. So if you have any questions, Jaron will put a post up there, and if you have any questions you want us to answer, I mean, preferably movie related, but if you got the burning question, we'll probably answer it. Yeah, exactly. Because we're really beggars can't be choosers. We're good blokes. So we've got two questions this week. The first one, it comes from Damon Delage, who has been sort of a follower of us for a fair while. Yeah, he's a good lad. And so we appreciate the continued support from the big man. And he has said, what movies got you interested in film? Now, this is a good one. Because we kind of became film fanatics together. The early days of the Children of Film crew. Yeah. It was around, late 2012, early 2013, when, and that was around when we met as well. Start of 2013 when he moved to my shithole town. And if I had to pick one movie that got me interested in film, and there's tons, but if I had to pick the one that really sort of lit the fuse in my brain, it's Django Unchained. There was some YouTuber I watched back in the day did like a yearly top 10 of movies of the year list, and I just watched his 2012 list, and I was like, some of these interest me, I'm going to start watching them. So I chuck on Django Unchained, and I was like, whoa, movies can be this good? Because I'd always like Hot Fuzz has always been my favorite movie for a long time, and I always loved the Edgar Wright stuff and Kick-Ass, and I had some favorites, but I was mostly just into comedies and shit like that. And I watched Django Unchained, and I'm like, oh wow, this is fucking like whoa. And then I started watching shit like some sort of my education began with like the 2012 movies, like I watched Silver Linings Playbook and Seven Psychopaths and Safe Not Guaranteed, and then my mum started showing me some older stuff like Shawshank Redemption, and I watched Pulp Fiction and a lot of that sort of stuff. And from there, I just kind of got hooked, and I started blind buying stuff. And And how was it for you?
Yeah, mine was about the same. It was about the same kind of mark that we both became interested. And I remember, it's a good question because we can reminisce that back in the day. Remember, after school, we always used to go to Video Easy to see what they had in sale. We used to buy DVDs for like $2.
For the non-Australians, it was a video store, a thing that existed at one time.
Hey, I remember buying little things that I would buy, and then I'd be like, yeah, this is wicked, and show to you, and then you would buy just so you could own it because we both wanted to collect everything, like things like little movies like Woody Harrelson's Defendor, shit like that. That was one that I watched, like in one of the first like real small indie movies. Not many people have heard of it. That was really cool. Things like that. I watched The Avengers in 2012, and that's the first time I remember going to a cinema and being like, fuck, this is awesome. I love this. And then after that, the next theater experience I remember completely blowing my mind to films can be this good, as you put it, was with you in 2013 when I went to see a little movie that I hadn't heard anything about it. It was called Prisoners. I had no idea what this movie was. I hadn't seen any trailers, barely a poster. I was like, oh, Hugh Jackman's in it.
I think I'd been keen.
I know that name.
Chris Stuckman gave it a good review, and I was like,
Yeah, I remember just going, oh, it's good on Rotten Tomatoes. We should go see it. And we're like, yeah. And
2013 was the year where we started watching and logging everything we watched. Before the days of using Letterboxd, we would just write lists, Word documents, everything we saw in theaters, and
that day also marks,
Prisoners was a blowaway.
Yeah, but it
was the
also
first
marks
movie.
a really interesting day in my life, and it's the day I fell in love with Jake Gyllenhaal.
The man.
That's why it's special to me as well.
What about Donnie Darko? Was that an early one for you?
Yes, Donnie Darko. Yeah, I fucking love Donnie Darko.
That was one of my sexual awakenings,
and
for film and for Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah, and I watched Fight Club, and I fucking loved it.
Yes.
I was like, man, I got to see more of this guy's movies. And then I watched Seven, and I was like, holy shit.
Yes.
And then I watched The Social Network. I'm like, whoa, and I just kept going. And that's what David Fincher is my favorite director, because when I was starting to love films, I was watching a lot of his shit. I was scared of gore,
for me.
So I remember watching
American History X.
Oh yes,
Jaren's
my favorite movie of all
movie.
time. Yeah.
That was one that I watched pretty young, and really sort of had an impact on me. I've still only seen it about 3 times, and it still retains the power every time you go back and watch it.
I haven't seen it in a couple of years because I don't want it to lose its power. But I agree.
I remember, I think the first time you watched it, we were actually at school, and you're watching it on your laptop, and you were like crying in class at the end.
I was watching the end, and I was like, I hadn't cried in a movie before. And I was watching in class. Nah, I also remember watching The World's End in class, and I remember I thought I was sick because it was that fight where they're throwing the robots around and their heads are coming off, and I remember all the kids below me were watching behind me while waiting for class, and they're like, oh, what, that's awesome, oh, and I'm like, yeah, you're fucking right. And This Is the End introduced me to the frat pack big time.
Introduced you to the frat pack?
Yeah, I hadn't really watched a lot of Seth Rogen stuff before
nice,
that. I'd only watched a lot of Adam Sandler stuff, really.
I think I was always big on Pineapple Express back in the day.
See, I go back and watch This Is the End now, and I'm like, Aziz Ansari's in this? I didn't know who that was when I watched it.
I bet
Kevin
if I went
Hart?
back and watched it right now, I'd be noticing people that I didn't notice before. But no, I love those guys.
Yeah,
I think the first movie I went and saw in theaters just for the sake of I'd heard it was good and I'm gonna watch it was Zero Dark 30, and I dragged 3 friends to it, and like it's not a movie you drag a bunch of fucking 14-year-old 15-year-olds to go watch, like
they didn't like it
into film. Well, I think I sold it to them because I was like, oh, I heard there's a lot of cool torture scenes, and they're like, oh, all right. And I love that movie, but it was like before I really knew anything about them, and I just watched it because I don't know, the schmoes had it high on their top 10 list or something.
Long-winded movie, great last act. That's but
from there just started sort of watching everything. One that I remember watching for some reason was the second G.I. Joe movie.
I remember watching that with you.
The first one, and it was okay.
Yeah, I remember. I remember what my favorite movie of 2013 was Rush, and I remember I saw it in WA, and then I came back to Jake, and I'm like, dude, there's this movie coming out. It's not here yet. It comes out in a week. We have to go see it. It's a Rush. It's fucking
And don't
amazing.
you dare say I fucked up the time, because they fucking changed it.
And I'm like, all right, what time do you want to go see it? And Jacob's like, let's go at 5:30, and I'm like, fuck, awesome, let's do it.
It said 5:30.
And we get there at about 5:20, 10 minutes before the movie, as usual. And we're like, yeah, can we see Rush? And we're like, can we get one for the 5:30 Rush? And they're like, there's a 5 o'clock Rush and an 8 o'clock Rush. And I'm like, what? And we get in there and we've missed the first scene. I'm like, Jacob? But he's like, oh, they changed it on the website. I'm like,
fucking, I swear, I don't fuck that kind of thing up. You know that. Fucking. Ooh.
Interesting.
But, yeah, I remember the first line. The line that I walked in on was Niki Lauda saying, "So if my family wasn't going to help me, I decided I'd do it myself." Like that kind of when he's talking about how his dad rejected
which
him,
is way after the intro and the hunt stuff.
And then we went back and watched the first 20 minutes like online.
Yeah.
But no, Rush is the shit. Fuck yeah, that's a random story. As soon as you bring up Rush, I'm like, oh, he's going to talk about how I, quote-unquote, fucked up the time, but I didn't actually fuck up the time because they fucking changed it.
Yeah, there's no proof.
Guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, one time I went to go see a movie a couple years ago and, like, the time was wrong, so...
Yeah, proof of that?
Fuck that cinema. I don't even remember what the movie was, but yeah. But no, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that long-winded answer.
We love movie.
We do.
First
of all, before our final question, I just want to give a great shout out to Derek Johnson, who liked the tweet but didn't reply. Thanks,
Derek
man.
Johnson, I've known that bloke for a while. He's a good lad.
Yeah. Good lad.
Yeah. So our next question, we're actually adapting into our top 5 for the week. So thank you, Jasper Stringer, probably our number one fan. Yeah, and we have real life friends who listen to this podcast, and he's probably our number one fan.
Yeah, and we have lots of real life friends that don't. So you take what you can get.
Yeah,
you win some, you lose
appreciate
some.
It. He's definitely the best stringer that I know.
Oh, you
fucking
reckon? Interesting.
Yeah, he's better than the
Jakey?
other stringer that starts with a J.
Jake Stringer.
Fucking Jake Stringer. There's more AFL references for you, as if this podcast isn't fucking unappealing to the masses enough. All right, so cheers, Jasper, for your question and your support. And so Jasper has asked, what is your top 5 foreign language films, in brackets, so non-English? Thanks, man, I got that.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so a bit rude asking for a top 5. That's a lot of material for one question, but we like it, and we're gonna do it as our top 5 for the week. We're up for the challenge, Jasper. Thank you so much. Just
having a stroke,
holding in a burp here. So top 5 foreign films. That's what we're doing. Don't get mad when they're all really modern. You know, we're kids. What do you want from us? Yes. So I guess we'll get started. Jared, I'm going to let you get started first with his honourable mentions, and I guess whatever's one by one as usual. Go for it. We haven't done one of these in a little while. Or did we do one last week? Last time we put
no.
We did our top 5 best of the year. What I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so I've got a few. I've got On Sunday by Denis Villeneuve, who did Prisoners, that we just talked about. I really like this one. One of his first movies, not his first, but one of them. And yeah, it's really great. It's a family story with a really fucked up ending that I don't think anyone saw coming. Film. Yeah, you should show your kids. It's really good for the whole family.
1 + 1 = 1.
Oh, stop that. I watched. What am I talking about? Another honorable mention is Letters from Iwo Jima, a Clint Eastwood film, 2006. It's so good. It's by a guy who's well known for being like, America, fuck yeah, and it's about the Japanese and their fight in the war, and it portrays them as people like really sympathetic, and their brave fight to hold off thousands of people with only a couple hundred of them. And the ending is tragic, but I love it. It was really good. And my last honorable mention is Roberto Benigni's Life is Beautiful. He wrote, directed, and acted in this, and he's so energetic. He's such a great presence. He's so funny. This is probably the funniest Holocaust movie ever. But in saying that, the ending is fucked. It's quite sad, but it's a story about a guy and his kid, and the Jews are getting rounded up, and they have to try and hide. And his son doesn't know what's going on, so he turns it into kind of like a game. And yeah, it's a true story. I think maybe I just made that up. I'm not sure, but yeah. Shall I do my number 5?
Yep.
My number 5 is really one that could be swapped with Life is Beautiful, but I watched this recently on Blu-ray and I love it so much. And this is The Untouchables. This is the true story of the wealthy rich man who is used to getting looked after because he's handicapped, and he gets looked after by after all his nannies quit because he's such a hard ass, he's such a wanker. This guy from the projects comes in. He's a black man, he's tall, and I don't know why I said he's tall, but he is, and he comes in and starts helping him out, and he's got an attitude as well. Yeah, and I love Omar Sy, and their attitudes and kind of clash, and they respect each other because of it, and it's really sweet, and it got a tear out of this tough guy's eye in the end, and yeah, you'll be hearing that a lot in this list, but yeah.
Yes. Okay, honorable mention. Well, Untouchables I really liked. Come and See, which I watched this year, was really, really great. One of the hardest. It's a really hard movie to watch, but yeah, it's really hard to watch, but it is quite fulfilling in the end, and it leaves you with a glimmer of hope in that, like a needle in a haystack of hope. But yeah, it's really, really, really incredibly well done. Lahane. I loved Lahane, big Vincent Cassel as a young fella, and the bloke who played the guy in Wonder Woman who wants to be an actor, that dude. And it was really, really good. Mummy is one I love. Xavier Dolan's movie is French, and it really, really creatively uses aspect ratio. I thought it was insanely emotional and big call, but I think it's the best use of Wonderwall ever in a movie. And
big call.
Next honorable mention is my last honorable mention is the 400 Blows. Bloody Truffaut's movie. My first experience with the French New Wave that I really would like to see more movies like this. I haven't since, but I should. Yeah, I loved it. It's incredible. The score, you listen to the score of this, you can tell it influenced La La Land. And yeah, it's just a really, really great movie, and really cool, iconic freeze frame ending. Awesome. And my number 5 is one you already mentioned, Denis Villeneuve's Incendie. It was my favorite new discovery of last year. Fucking love that movie. Like, blew my mind. Ending just killed me. It was insane and incredibly well told, and just proves that Denis Villeneuve is the fucking man.
He is.
What's your number 4?
Got a point. He is the man. My number 4 is The Hunt. And this is...
I forgot about The Hunt. Fuck.
Oh, rip. Would that be in your 5?
I fucking love... maybe.
Shit.
Maybe. Probably around honorable... probably an honorable mention for The Hunt, I reckon.
Lol.
I love The Hunt, yeah.
I love The Hunt. It's a story about a daycare teacher who gets falsely accused of molestation by a little girl because she thinks it would be funny to brag to her friends that he showed her his willy, and she gets so far into this lie that when people start confronting her about it, did this actually happen? And she starts saying yes. She's too scared to take it back. She's too scared to take back the lie.
It's kind of like the adults around her kind of lead her into, and going on with it.
They make her believe the story, and this guy who has a son, a family, he gets shunned from all of his friends, all of society, because a little girl lied and called him a pedophile. Yeah, I told my girlfriend about this movie.
Is chilling.
Oh yeah, oh god, yeah, it really is. I told my girlfriend about this movie, and she's a big SJW, and she was like, "They definitely shouldn't have made this movie because this just gives sympathy to all pedophiles out there."
What?
What?
Has she seen it?
No.
He's not a pedophile.
Yeah, I know. That's what I told her, but she's like, people are gonna think twice about real pedophiles now. But oh well.
What?
You can't win them all. You can't win
But the
them all.
movie clearly establishes that he's not a pedophile.
No, she knows he's not, but she's like, that's going to give sympathy to people she's like, that's going to make people think twice about real pedophiles. I'm like, alright, whatever. You can't win them all.
Should we not do movies about people falsely accused of murder because it's going to fucking give sympathy to real murderers?
Exactly, right. We just stop making movies, in my opinion.
Yeah, no more movies.
We've got enough.
Yeah. All right. I've got my number 4 is The Raid, the first Raid. One of the best action movies ever made. Gareth Evans is a bloody champion. Iko Uwais is a champion. Great score, co-done by Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park fame, which was cool. And just killer action scenes. And what he does in these movies is that he creates really memorable villains, like Mad Dog obviously is really memorable, and then the dude with the machete, I don't know his name, I call him Mr. Chop Chop, but he was really entertaining. The Raid is the shit.
I mean, that's a very reasonable name for him. He is Mr. Chop Chop.
Mr. Chop Chop, that's what I call him.
My number 3 is The Raid. For all the reasons you just said. It's 120 minutes of pure action adrenaline. It's barely a foreign language film because they barely talk. It's all intense. You're stuck in a box, obviously. And it's all like...
It's in the language of
you're
action.
Stuck in a pressure cooker. Shut up. You're stuck in a... Yeah, that's a foreign language to you, so I can see why that's... Anyway.
Pretty mean.
One of my favourite action movies ever. I love it. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Spirited Away. Buddy, my favorite animated movie still, and it's about a young girl. Have you seen this? You have, haven't you?
Yeah, you gave it to me for a film swap.
Yeah. So I've talked about this plenty of times before, about a young girl named Chihiro who becomes trapped in like this spirit world, and it's so creative, it's so magical, it's dark, it's super, super cool. I love Spirited Away.
Nice, good recommendation. My number 2 is The Raid 2. And is that your number 2 as well?
It is.
Yeah, thought so.
Now we know what's up.
Yeah, we do. But The Raid 2 is it's everything the first Raid has, plus an epic story, and it's basically The Godfather meets The Raid.
Dude, it's like they take the incredible action from the first one, and not only do they turn it up to 11, they create an incredibly compelling story around it that would be compelling even if it wasn't an action film. Like, and Gareth Evans is the real fucking deal.
And I've got 7 words for you. Baseball bat girl and baseball bat guy and hammer girl. There you go.
Hell yeah. That's the thing that I was saying about memorable villains. Those two are killer. You got like the curved blade man, he's a badass. And the main villain, who doesn't even have any fight scenes, is super memorable. That dude, played by Arifin Putra, gave a really fucking good performance as like the mob boss's son who has eyes on, taking over. And it's kind of like it's such a great fucking gangster movie. And I cannot wait to see Gareth Evans' next movie, Apostle. He's taken a dip into English language, so I'm really keen for that. And I hope we get a Raid 3 as well.
Oh god, I really hope we get a Raid 3. These
Apostle looks awesome,
really
dude.
Well,
fucking, have you heard about Apostle?
I've heard the name. I don't know who's in it, what it's about.
It's like in the early 1900s, and it's about a guy going to try and rescue his sister who got kidnapped by a mysterious religious cult, and It's like Dan Stevens and Michael Sheen, Lucy Boynton from Sing Street.
I love Lucy Boynton, man. Sweet as.
Yeah,
awesome.
And Dan Stevens is the man as well.
Yeah. All right. And it's time for our joint number 1, and there is no
doubt.
Now. It's got to be Pan's Labyrinth. It's got to be.
It's Pan's Labyrinth. Come on, you can't not be Pan's Labyrinth.
One of my favorite.
This is another
movies
film
of
that
all
probably
time,
shaped
like
me
top
as a
20
film
or
fan.
30. Same,
Back
absolutely.
in the day. Yeah. Dead set masterpiece. Guillermo del Toro's best movie. I watched it again. It was the last movie I watched in my childhood bedroom before moving, and it got me a little emotional, but the movie also got me a little emotional. The ending rips my soul out every time. Oh, yeah. The way it blends fantasy with reality, it's fuck. Just what a fucking movie.
Oh yeah. But I also have to say this is another scenario where it would have been interesting regardless of the fantasy. The whole story about a girl trapped in her new stepdad's who's a war general in his camp while they're getting attacked by other guys, and that he is such a terrifying villain when he breaks that guy's face in with a bottle.
An evil bloke. Guillermo loves his face wounds.
Oh yeah.
When he gets shot, and I love the scene where he's like, spoilers, but when he gets done in at the end, he's like, look at my watch, mark the time of death, and then the chick's like, fuck,
she'll never even know
your
you
name.
Were. Yep.
Like, fuck yeah, fuck
yes.
you.
Spoilers for Pan's Labyrinth, but fuck.
So,
yeah.
like, so many it's so fucking well written. There's like the scene where, Ophelia's trying to like talk to the baby, and he's like telling the baby about her mother and stuff. Like, that's really emotional. Oh, fuck. Yeah, really, really good child performance. Just Guillermo at the top of his game. Like, this and Shape of Water show the guy's when he wants to be, he's a fucking master of his craft. And I'd also shout The Devil's Backbone is a really great foreign language movie that I forgot about. That is incredible too. I'd like to watch it again, but no, just insane. One of the best movies ever. Yeah.
Yeah, agree. One of the best movies ever. Yeah, so I hope that answered your question.
I like it.
Yeah. And we're back. And that's the show, I think. Yeah, so thank you so much for asking the questions, guys. I'm going to do another. Just tweet at us, at Children of Film. Ask us a fucking question, whatever you want, or reply to the thread that I post. Anything you want to do, anything, if it's movie related, preferred. But I mean, just if you want to make it weird, wacky, if it's just a fucking random ass question, that's fine. Subscribe, like, share the podcast with a friend, comment. Make sure to comment your top 10 box office predictions so we can read them out. The more people, the more fun it is.
Fuck, we're setting a lot of homework today, aren't we?
We are. But fan interaction is what was asked, and that's what we're fucking given.
Yeah, so thanks for listening. I don't know when we'll be back. Maybe we'll try and do another one at the end of this week. Hopefully I've watched a bunch of movies.
Yeah. At the very least, we'll be doing one like the day after Infinity War, which is at least 10 days.
You have to. Yeah, like in this economy, you can't really afford not to.
Exactly. So if you want 2 podcasts in 10 days, maybe. Or maybe not.
Yeah. You have to do an Infinity. Probably just do an hour in Infinity War, and half of it's just Jaren crying into the microphone.
I'd say more than half of it. I'd say probably about 80% of it is just me crying and weeping and sobbing. So you might want to skip that one and go to the week after. But I mean, if you want,
I haven't really displayed a whole lot of hype for it, but that's just because I'm trying to keep it in check. I don't want to be disappointed. I'm really fucking keen for it. I'm trying not to let it out too much because, like, I don't want to play myself.
Congratulations. Yeah, well, the Russo brothers hold my 2 favorite MCU movies, so I don't see this being bad. And at the very least, even if it's bad, at the very least, it's got the Guardians meeting the Avengers and they're fighting a Purple Man. And
I don't love either Avengers movie, so it doesn't have too high a bar to clear for me in that regard.
Thanos just looks so fucking awesome. I need to watch him again, though.
Yeah, Josh Brolin's having a big year.
He is. All right. that's us. Jaren loves film, Jacob loves children, and he's not been falsely accused of it. Wink, wink.
No.
He's brought it back 360. All right, cheers, guys. Have a good one.
That's some cute full circle bullshit. Good night. You've just listened to the Children of Film podcast.
Man, it sucks to be you.